C-Bus.
Okay, so we're going to start with the lilacs today. I'm going to show you how to plant a woody shrub in an existing landscaping bed. This is the location that we've chosen. We've got some satellite dishes. We got a pretty bare wall. So we have a lot of open space, and we're just trying to fill it with something that's going to be hardy, something that's going to show a little bit of color, give some interest, be easy to maintain. So the first thing I like to do is take my plants and space them out and find out what they're going to look like. So I have the rough spacing done for these lilacs. What you've noticed is I played with them. I put them just a slightly back towards the rear of the bed. In this case, I'm planting them really close, about 3 feet apart. These lilacs will get to be, say, 5 foot, maybe 3 to 4 foot wide. So, you know, in a couple years, they will grow together as a solid hedge. That's my intention in this location, just to soften this wall. And we have some utilities and things that we're trying to cover up, so we're going to keep them tight, such as the air conditioner. We want to block the air conditioner and the satellite dishes, so that, you know, as the customer looks from this angle, it's going to soften and blend some of that stuff. So, you know, this is a back corner of the house. Doesn't have to be the most decorative area. So this is what we're doing with spacing. Generally, I'll just eyeball it when we're doing woody shrubs. If you're doing trees and things, you probably want to measure and use a string line. But I'll look at it from 2 different angles. That way we make sure they're straight this way. And then we want to make sure that they're spaced this way as well. After we have everything in our locations, well, then we'll start the planting process. One thing you want to notice right off is any obstacles that might be involved. You definitely want to watch out for cable and phone lines in a situation like this. Alright, so let's move on to planting techniques, and I'll show you how this is done. After this project is a stiff metal rake and a shovel, and I'll show you why. When you have an existing landscape bed, you'll have all this old mulch. So in order to make sure that we don't plant the new shrub in mulch, we want to plant it in topsoil or dirt. The first thing we're going to do is mark our spot with the plant. After we know an approximate location, we're going to rake off this old mulch. We're just rake it to the back of the bed to get the old mulch out of the way. Now in this situation, there's not too much old mulch, which is good. Sometimes the mulch will be this thick and you really have to rake a lot of it. Now we're done with the rake, so the next thing we're going to do is take a look at our alignment once again with the rest of the plants. We'll see that our spacing puts us right about there. You want to dig these holes about 50% larger than the existing plant container. So if you're looking at this plant container right here, you want to dig the hole about this large. Or, you know, other words, if this is 12 inches, in diameter, you'll want to make your hole about 18 to 20 inches. Just work my way around. As I dig, I'll put the dirt on all sides so it's easy to bury. So we've got our hole about the right distance for the first plant. We're going to use this as a guide. So when you're planting these shrubs, you want to plant the hole depth to be even with the soil mix that's inside. Not as deep as a container, because you don't want to cover up any of these branches. You want to plant it down about right here. Normally there's about 1 inch or 2 inches of space in each container. You're looking for the same depth as this to be the same depth as your surface here. So what I generally do next is I'll take the plant and I'll set it in the hole in the pot just to get an idea. Okay, so now I've got all the holes dug to approximately 50% larger than the pot size. And now what we're going to do is we're going to step back and we're going to look at these. As you see, they're definitely tilted and mixed up. So we can go through now and look down at them, and we can adjust the height on each one of them. Try to turn them, straighten them up a little bit how we want them. About like this, you know, sometimes one side of the plant's better than the other. And now we're going to start to bury these one by one to get them just perfect. Okay, so when you go to bury a container plant, what happens is the roots go around the inside of the plant. So in order to loosen this pot up, you usually want to take your fist, just go around the plant a few times like this to loosen it. Now when you grab the plant, these branches are fragile, so you want to get around the main branch of it as low as you can, and you want to grab it under there and hold down on this pot and just pull upwards on it. Now, I usually like to get it close to the hole so all the extra material goes in the hole, just like that. Then we can gently set it in there. Now that we've got the plant in the hole, what you'll want to do is get your knife. This is a part that a lot of people overlook. What you want to do with these roots is you want to cut these with your knife. At least 2 or 3 spots. Now that'll help the roots come out of this pot and want to expand into the loose, fresh dirt that's around it. Be gentle on everything you do. Notice that my height on here to the pot is about the same. I don't put too much soil right on the sides. I try not to put too much soil in between them so I know the actual depth of the ground that I'm planting in. I put all my digging dirt off to the sides. Now that I've got this right, I'll just start to adjust the plant as I backfill it. Usually I do the first part just by hand. Now if the plant is slightly lower, just lift up a little bit and the dirt will drop down underneath of it. At the same time, if the plant is angled one way or another, you can just turn the plant like this or like that. As you lean it, you can pack a little dirt around the sides. You want to be really careful that you don't bury the bottom branches, so you want to lift up on them and put the dirt in underneath of it. Make sure that you don't push in the mulch, but only the dirt. Oh, watch out, little guy. Now what you want to do now that I have it pretty much covered, you'll see that now I have the dirt about to the same depth as the original. I want any woody shrub, generally I want to just pack in a little bit. So I'll be careful to hold these branches back as I step on it and pack it in with my foot. You want to make sure that before you do this, you have the branches up out of the way and that the plant is level and straight. Go around it once or twice, packing it in. Then you can backfill the rest of the dirt. So for now, we're done planting the first one. We just start to move on to the second one. now we can look at them and see if they look right, and if they look in line, and if we need to straighten anything up. So as you can see, they all look pretty even, and they're pretty much straight in line. So we've got these lilacs in. Just a little sweat and a little know-how is going to get it done. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up all the dirt and prep this area for mulch. As we get close to these areas, we want to get the clumps around there, smash them down a little bit with our feet. Since we're at the top, it doesn't matter too much if we get the mulch around the base of them. We're also going to put fresh mulch. We're just going to smooth this bed out. Looking good. All right, so we got her done. That's how you plant a group of container shrubs, some woody plant stock. And now we got the bed prepped for mulch. So if you do it like that, a little bit of water, about every other day, you'll have good success. Good luck with your plantings.